you have to remind everybody. Yeah, yeah, good. Turning on the microphone so you can hear me say those things. David's saying hello to everybody online. Somebody in particular? Okay, good. Well, can I wave too? Thank you. We have a number of people that I know are watching today in particular. Let's hope the stream works considering that. So we have a larger than normal lectern here because next week it will be used all week for Torah. This is our Torah-sized lectern, which was a brilliant idea to have the kind of lectern we could use for both things. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Ricky for fixing it this week. We had dreams about ways of improving this, and he made it happen finally this week. That was nice, thank you. And with all of those things, did you have a good week? It was a good week? It was okay? It was good or okay? Anybody have a terrible week? You did? Are you sad that you're out of school? Okay, good. All right. I was worried that that's what it was because kids had their last day of school this week. The students had their last day of school this week, and I was a little bit worried that that's why she thought it was terrible because she's not in school anymore. No, huh? Glad you're here with us anyway. So you need, whether you thought that it was a wonderful week, you could look back and think it was a wonderful week and then remember some parts that weren't so wonderful. But it's really a blessing to make it to Friday again. So when we get to Friday, we take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. One more time. And let it out slowly. See if you can make the shoulders go down a little bit. See if you can take the tension out. There you go. Uh-oh. His whole body went down. That's a good sign. It means that we're relaxing. I like to say that if everybody in the congregation falls asleep, I will have done my job because you're supposed to rest on Shabbat, and it means I nailed it. We are going to turn to page 82 for our candle blessing and Kiddush. And as is the custom, if it's comfortable for you to rise, please stand. Page 82. As I welcome up Sue and Buddy Rubenstein. And I will brag every time I get a chance that this is currently the only couple that both of them have been president in our congregation forever, for the 150 years. And here they are still. That's right.
We still make it.
And you still make it. And honor us.
These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbath's long path and of their beauty and that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue on page 166 with the Kiddush.
Praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator, fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Sabbath, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work in our liberation from Egypt bondage. And our day of days, our Sabbath especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Sabbath.
Amen. L'chaim. You are welcome to be seated. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you came in with, someone you didn't come in with. Make sure everybody gets a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom back there. I heard that. We are going to continue on page 84. In addition to greeting each other, we are going to welcome the angels that accompany us on Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Olechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlakim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for the living God, it has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace.
Its truths are true for all people.
Its love is a love for all people. Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbi, Be'alma divrach chiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chay d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'miru, amen. Yeheshmeh Rabba mevarach, le'alam ol'almei almaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'halal, shemeh dekudisha, Richu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damihiran be'alma, v'miru, amen. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, "You cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you." Even so does your goodness pass before us in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life.
When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us,
when to the last full measure of selfless devotion we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives, and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. be seated unless you are 13 or younger and want to come up and help with this. I know, that's what I was trying to explain. You good? Let me pull back more. You lead us off, please, sir. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Would you lead us, the congregation, in English too, please?
You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind,
with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. Thank you, and thank you. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children.
This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people.
We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power.
You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else.
We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world.
Hate evil, love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream.
We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed.
You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds.
We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace.
Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children.
We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth.
You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me.
We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you God, our Redeemer,
as did our ancestors on the shores of the Red Sea.
Come on.
V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the night and its rest and the promise of peace for all the world. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam beni uven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam oti le'olam Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. The soul that you've given me is pure. Yet I know that within it, my yearning for the sacred must struggle with my inclination for the profane. At times, the profane seems the winner. Love and truth are debased. The divine gift of compassion is depleted. The anguish of others goes unfelt and unheeded. How much I need you, O God, at such times. I need the sense of your presence within me, giving me the strength to elevate my soul beyond the sordid to the sacred. Your presence is the light that dispels the darkness that would envelop me, the light that shows me the path to a life of honor and truth. Please rise for the tefillah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'koneh hakol, V'zocher hasde avot v'imahot, U'mevi geula livnei v'nehem, L'ma'an shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer Moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth.
God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust.
Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, y'all be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy.
God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days.
O God, who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, source of life and its wonders, be praised. You are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness, you are compassion. We give thanks to you forever. We read together below the Hebrew. God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech hador lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech hador lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'anecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
There are prayers in your heart that you came to say. Now is the time, as we pray silently, to say those prayers. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru imru amen. That song is a song I've been singing for as long as I belong to congregations. And I didn't realize that the song was only a few years older than that. I thought it was one we sang forever. But after the shuttle exploded, I can't hear it. I hear it in a new way, because it says, may the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens cause peace to reign among us and all Israel and all the world. So this weekend is the weekend of the air show. And so I pray for safety for all those who are flying and entertaining us up there too. It was very sad to see the Bereshit rocket that Israel launched crashing into the other side of the moon. That was devastating. It was helpful to see the other side of the moon survived it. But we'll keep trying. But the point is, I think about things that happen in other places thanks to this. And speaking of songs and impacts that the songs have on us, the song Shalom Rav, did you hear the news this week? You don't watch Grey's Anatomy? I didn't watch it. I didn't see it yet. But Thursday night's episode, Shalom Rav by Jeff Klepper and Danny Freelander, played on Grey's Anatomy this week. Yes, wow. So I think that's when it was. It wasn't Game of Thrones, I'm sure about that, and it wasn't the Big Bang Theory. It was something on Thursday night. No, just kidding. I think it was Grey's Anatomy. So watch for it, and pretty cool. We know these guys. They're coming to Shreveport, by the way. We've got them coming, but we don't know when yet. Jeff Klepper is retiring this year as a cantor, and Danny is retiring as the head of the World Union of Progressive Judaism, and they're coming to Shreveport. They promised us. So even after their song was chosen for that. At this point in our service, our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer books. And I turn my microphone off for a moment. If you have other names that you would like us to include in our prayers, I invite you to call them out, please. Yogi. We said, we read together, "O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh Cholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. We add, Misheberach avotenu ve'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we've entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely, and let us say, Amen. We also have to add, and I forgot to give you a hint about where we were in this, we have to add the counting of the Omer. So where are we tonight? 28. So we're finishing up 27. We're heading into 28. We're pretending that the sun has already gone down because we've already lit the candles. So we've already turned it into Shabbat. So that makes it 28 now. Remember that this is a blessing. The blessing we say is one that fulfills a commandment. So we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. And we praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. You make us holy by giving us commandments. And you commanded us about counting the Omer. You told us to count the days. You told us to count the weeks. And on Shabbat this year, it's a little bit boring because we only get to count weeks and 0 days. So today is 28 days, which makes 4 weeks and 0 days. Hayom. 28 יום שהם 4 שבועות ו0 ימים בעומר. We went back to the old Ashkenazic method for that one. We've been switching every week which method we use for counting. And that time we went to Ashkenazic 1. We have an Ashkenazic 2 also. That was last week. So we just said a blessing that talks about the kind of people in the world. And I've been thinking a lot about kinds of people in the world. And I've been thinking a lot about who comes to services and why. So is anybody in this room in a lot of pain right now? Physically, emotionally. Yeah, you're hurting a lot? Anybody in this room extremely happy today? Anybody in this room extremely excited today? Anybody? You can tell we have lots of reasons for coming here. We come, as we say in one of our prayers, because we have joyful things to share, because we're sad and we need a place to feel safe and sad. The sanctuary, the synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. We come here looking for God sometimes. Sometimes we come here looking for people. There's the Torah portion we read today talks about many things that the Levites were supposed to do to be holy, the things we're supposed to do. There was one line that struck me that I know may sound a little bit, I hope that you can understand why I'm tying this in. It talks about how we had to find pure, super pure oil for the menorah. And you know the story because we talk about it at Hanukkah all the time about how long it takes to make that super pure oil. And why do we need super pure oil? Why? It burns cleanly. It doesn't smell terrible. And we work really hard to make that oil be pure. And that's the stuff we're supposed to use to be able to burn for the menorah that was in the Mishkan that went then to the temple, that the eternal light here I'm pointing to behind me represents. And I started to think about why pure oil and how do we see ourselves in this story about pure oil. And I stress a little bit about the fact that people think then that in order to be holy, in order to do holy things, there is something super pure about who you have to be. And I'm sad to say that, less than 2 weeks after Yom HaShoah, it stresses me to think when people think that they have an idea what it means for you to be super pure in order to fit and be worthy of being in the Mishkan or in the temple or in the synagogue, the sanctuary of Israel. And I think that in some ways it's a little bit different. I think that it has to do with clear. It's true that it didn't smell bad when it burnt. And it's true that we needed to work hard to get there. But clear means you see through it, that there's no impurities that you have to look through to get to the oil. And what I think that symbolizes for me this week especially is the kind of people that we welcome with open arms into our synagogues. The past few weeks, I kept hearing stories about our congregation and others, and it didn't make me feel better when it was also about others, is the kind of people who feel uncomfortable coming to the synagogue. So I think Helene was there the year that I was at a seminar with the ISGL when they talked about people, the Reform movement also talks about audacious hospitality and how you make each person who comes into your building feel welcome. And so there was a seminar that we did, I think it was the ISJL, where they showed you, they called it an accessibility program. And they talked about how you make sure that everybody who needs to come to services feels comfortable and welcome. And there's nothing, last week we talked about not putting stumbling blocks before the blind. And that's a literal and a figurative thing. So we worked hard at making sure that if you come in with a walker, you have ways to come into the building, and you shouldn't feel awkward to come in with a walker. And if you come in with a wheelchair, you shouldn't feel awkward to come in with a wheelchair. And we have places for you to sit. And it shouldn't matter what color you are or who you love or, and this was the hardest one, the one that most people don't realize, and this was the one that I've heard about most often lately, how much money you have. I don't think that most people in a synagogue realize how constricting we are to people who don't have the same amount of money we have. Sometimes it's more money. The people who have more money than us don't feel as comfortable about coming sometimes, but especially the people with less money. It used to be, and I'm so thankful that for as long as I have known B'nai Zion, it hasn't been like this, but it used to be that in order to be a member of B'nai Zion, there was a minimum amount you had to pay. And if you didn't have that amount, you either had to beg and prove poverty, or you just don't become a member here. And you don't know that you're turning people away by having that lower bar there, that bar that you think is important, because you're being really we are being responsible about what our dues need to be. But sometimes the people who are on the margins, the ones who have a hard time with stepping in the door to begin with, those are the ones that need to be here and deserve to be here as much as we do. And it makes me sad when I think that there have been a number of people over the years, not just at our congregation. The seminar we saw, the person who we had someone in a wheelchair, we had people representing all kinds of different backgrounds. And the one that surprised me the most was a rabbi who, when he was young, he was living in his car. And it surprised us to know that that's what his accessibility problem was. And it surprised me especially to know that he didn't feel welcome, because the people in the synagogue made you feel uncomfortable because you didn't have the right clothes or you didn't have enough money to join or things like that. I know my board picks on me all the time about, can't you find people who have enough, I mean, it's a joke about, richer people to come in and whatever. That's not, but they joke about it. I pray that as we look around, as the people who come in, you're not seeing what people are wearing, and you're not seeing how much money they make or how much money they're bringing in, but you're seeing through them, like you're seeing through clear oil to see who they are. One of my favorite videos that I've seen over the years was they were at a thing kind of like an art break, kind of a celebration. And they had on the stage, there was this giant screen. And people would walk behind the screen. You didn't know who they were at first. And you'd see them behind the screen, and all you saw somehow was their skeleton dancing and greeting each other. And then when they walk out, you saw what they looked like outside of the skeleton. And it shocked a lot of people to see what these skeletons were and who they were and who they were once they came out, to see what the outside was. So I encourage you to see everyone who walks in this room through a clear oil, so that you're seeing who they are in their essence, the spirit that God made that's pure, and not any of the murky things that block us from seeing that. That's my word for today. And I know the president and the vice president aren't here today, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to read the announcements, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going rogue today. You know that next week, I hope you know that next week, Alexander Murov will be here leading, well, probably up there, leading the service. And on Friday night, he'll be leading the service. And on Saturday morning, he'll be leading the service. Friday night, 6 o'clock regular time. Saturday morning, slightly different time, 10 o'clock to noon, he'll be here. He'll be leading the service. He'll be called to the Torah. He'll be reading Torah. He'll be chanting Haftarah. It's an amazing thing. And we'll be celebrating with the whole of the Murov family. So for any of those reasons, for all the reasons, please be here. Please, please, please. And this group at least can't say they don't know him. I know a lot of people who say they don't come to services, to the bar mitzvah celebration because they don't know him. You can't not know Alexander because he's here all the time. So we appreciate it. Please come here for that. And I think that my message today, if you listen to the voice message, wasn't perfectly clear. Friday night services at 6, Saturday morning at 10 in the morning Saturday. We won't have Torah study next Saturday. Sorry, followed by a Kiddush luncheon that everyone is invited to help celebrate. It's a mitzvah for us to celebrate together. So please, please. This week, we will be putting out flags for the veterans who are buried in the cemeteries in the Jewish sections or not Jewish section, or wherever they're buried. That's what we're covering. If you want to participate in that, making sure that there are flags, please let me know. We are looking for the day that has the best weather, and we'll be doing it that day. So let me know, and we'll try to find a time that's compatible to you. But we want to do that this week so that the flags are up before Memorial Day, which is not this Monday, but the following Monday. I want to remind you that on Memorial Day, we will be closed, the office will be closed, and then the following day we go to summer hours, which means officially the office is open from 9 to noon. If you need to do business beyond those hours, just let us know. It doesn't mean you may never see anybody in the building then, but those are the official office hours then. Wednesday, May 29th, not this week, following week, I've got my ethical dilemmas from a Jewish perspective at the Oaks. The next big dates I want you to know about: confirmation service, which is celebrating Shavuot. We'll have a Yizkor service on Friday evening, June 7th at normal 6 o'clock time. Milena is going to be part of that confirmation class, and she's got 6 other friends over there who are going to be helping us lead that service, so please come for that. Shavuot doesn't officially actually start until the following night, so we will also be having a Yizkor service in the morning on Sunday the 9th, and that will be at 11 o'clock in the morning. The Simcha Shabbat for June will not be on the 7th. It will be on the following week, on the 14th, because there's too much already happening on the 7th with confirmation and Yizkor and Shabbat and everything else. So come for the 14th, and we would like to celebrate with you, and you can get one of those 2 new awesome mugs. Yes, we bribe you. No, we try to give you gifts. It's not bribery if you come and your birthday's in June. And then for those of you who need to know, we have 2 Jewish day camps in Shreveport that the Federation helps to sponsor this summer. We'll have one Shalom Art Camp from July 15th through 19th at Agudath Achim, and Camp Chai, July 22nd through August 2nd at B'nai Zion. I wanted to thank Sue and Buddy for helping us with the blessings for the candles and the wine and continuing to come, even though you're past presidents. We have a lot of past presidents again. I like this when people come. Thank you. And I wanted to point out these, I love these flowers. Look how beautiful they are. I don't know what that one is with the multicolors in it, but I really like that one. But donations were made to B'nai Zion, or for all pulpit flowers, in loving memory of Bernice Clark by Harriet Glazer, in loving memory of Fanny Goldman by Elliot and Sharon Goldman, in loving memory of Sylvia Rosenzweig by Hilary Spellings, and in loving memory of Victor of Bill Watson by Roberta Watson. I'm now going to invite everybody who wants to come up to help me open up the ark to come up the ark. Everybody who wants to. Page 148. Let's see who takes me up on my offer. Look at all you people who don't want to come up with the ark and open the ark. That's why we also have people who do, because there are many different kinds of people who come to services. Some people who like to come up and open the ark, and some people who don't like to come up and open the ark. Come on up. We continue on page 148. Please rise when the ark is open. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kamishpachot ha'adamah, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem. משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And on the facing page we will sing, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו When the ark is closed, you may be seated. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We continue on page 151. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. I want to include in that the fact that we've lost more military this week. We've lost 16 people in the military this year. We've lost more police officers this week. We've lost 46 police officers this year. We've lost 5 K-9 officers. We've lost more firefighters this week. We've lost 16 firefighters this year. May we always be grateful for those people who run into dangerous situations so that we can be free and safe. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. I invite you to turn to page 153. In nature's ebb and flow, your eternal law abides. As you are our support in the struggles of life, so also are you our hope in death. In your care, O God, are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Your power gives us strength. Your love comforts us. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts. Fill us with trust in you and turn us again to the tasks of life. And may the memory of our loved ones inspire us to continue their work for the coming of your sovereign rule. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, and we remember Lori Gilbert Kay, who died in the shooting in Poway, California. And we remember congregants' parents who died within the past year. We remember Clifford Bear, and Joe Batt, and Peter Haas. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing yahrzeits this week include Albert Axel, Jerry M. Brown, Bernice Clark, Annie Feigelson, Robert Fry, Elsie N. Goldberg, Fanny Goldman, Lynn Just, Charles G. Meyer, Tatsi Murov, Sylvia Rosenzweig, Mayor Peter Paul Jacob Shamgar, Harry Zwick, and Victor Bill Watson. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. The translation is on 155. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chaye chon u'v'yom echon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabba mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yeheh Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Please be seated unless you want the first batch of challah. Just you? We got 2. Anybody need a squirt? Are your hands clean? You see? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitsham v'tzitav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Say amen, and you're covered. What is under this thing? I don't know. Do you think it's going to be multicolored like Papa makes?
No.
I don't think so either. Sorry about that. All right, ready? Hold on. It's beautiful, though. Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together.
As our joyful prayer is said, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon.
Okay,
Pull, 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 pull. Not pulling? Not pulling? Why? How's she supposed to do it?
We're supposed to cut it in half. We don't have scissors. Or not scissors, knives.
Just try. Pull his. There's a story about that. King Solomon's story. It's one of my favorite ones. About the two sons who were supposed to inherit the father's property. And there was this giant hill on this side, which was great for grazing the sheep. And there was this beautifully flat area over here that was great for the crops. And when they were supposed to divide it up evenly, they couldn't figure out what to do. Because the way they kept looking, one of them was going to get the hill, and one of them was going to get the farmland. And they couldn't figure out what to do. So they went to King Solomon. And King Solomon said, "You cut it in half. You pick first." And guess what? They worked it out. It was perfect. I think they went this way instead of this way. But that's what happened here. They were worried about not getting the right amount. It's hard to do. I try to always avoid having a knife around a challah because I think of challah as being an opportunity to break bread with people, which is a peaceful thing. And I think of knife as being a sharp thing that kind of is a symbol of war. So please rise for the closing benediction. There are some people who think that the word war, milchama in Hebrew, is related to the word lechem, which is bread. A lot of time people fight over the best property for making bread. I don't know. I hope there's no more milchama and just a lot of good lechem. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you, be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasemecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace, completeness, shalom. May you have a wonderful week. Shabbat shalom. Bim bum bim 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 bum bim 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 bum chiri biri biri bim bum bim.